Welcome. In this presentation brought to you by the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, we will address program review at Bowling Green State University. Specifically, we will guide you through the implementation steps of the overall program review process. So without further ado, let us begin with a contextual overview. As seen in Articles 11 and 12 of its academic charter, Bowling Green State University is committed to the continuous review and improvement of its academic programs as essential for effective student learning and data-driven strategic planning. Program review is intended to be helpful, meaningful, collaborative, and useful to program faculty. At BGSU, the Comprehensive Program Review, or CPR, process is under the purview of the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs in collaboration with the deans of the undergraduate colleges, the dean of the graduate college, and the academic unit heads and faculty in individual departments. The Office of Institutional Effectiveness, or OIE, reporting to the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, has charge of the coordination and monitoring of program reviews for the university at large. And this includes making a program review schedule widely available and updating it on an ongoing basis, providing assistance with logistics and details of the program review process, and developing program review resources as necessary. At this point, you may be wondering, but what is the purpose of program review anyway? Program review fulfills many purposes, including fostering a culture of critical reflection on teaching and learning, ensuring continuous improvement in light of best practices from peer institutions, monitoring program performance with respect to mission and student learning, informing effective planning and resource allocations, and demonstrating contribution to the university's mission and strategic plans initiatives. Let us turn now to the timeline for program reviews. The schedule for academic program review is set up by the Office of Institutional Effectiveness with input from college deans or associate deans, the Program Review Academic Committee, or PRAC, and the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs in compliance with BGSU's academic charter. Program reviews must occur at least once every 5 years or earlier as may become necessary or as dictated by annual reporting such as the Program Vitality Analysis or PVA. In some instances, a program that has already participated in a review may be asked to be reviewed again outside of its typically scheduled review to assure that progress towards improvement is being made. The program review process itself should span no more than 3 academic semesters. With respect to roles and responsibilities, the BGSU Program Review Handbook provides a detailed description of roles and responsibilities for faculty involved in the program review process, for the program review coordinators, for college deans or associate deans, the provost designee in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, the Program Review Advisory Committee, or PRAC, and the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Note that college deans or associate deans are responsible for identifying the program review coordinators in their respective colleges and schools. With this slide, we now dive more deeply into each step of the program review process. The major steps in this program review process include 1, request of institutional data from the Office of Institutional Research, OIR, and the Office of Institutional Effectiveness, OIE, and completion of a SWOT analysis. 2, completion of a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, highlighting 4 to 5 questions or critical issues that came up during the SWOT analysis and that needs to be prioritized in a more in-depth manner in a self-study. 3, completion of a database and data-driven self-study report inclusive of an action plan with input from faculty, staff, and student. 4, selection of external reviewers, and submission of a non-conflict of interest form and independent contractor agreement, or ICA, by those external reviewers. 5, completion of a site visit, either virtual or in person, completed by the team of external reviewers, and the visit should include class observations, tour of facilities, interviews of students, faculty, and staff, etc. 6, provision of an external review report and executive summary by the team of external reviewers. 7, review of those external findings by the program and response made to the college dean or associate dean and revision of the program's action plan against the external findings. 8, once the action plan revised has been approved by the dean or associate dean, implementation of the final action plan ensues with yearly follow-up. Now let us review each of these steps one by one. Step 1. An initial meeting is scheduled with the college dean and or associate dean designee, program review coordinator, program chairs, and the Office of Institutional Effectiveness provost designee to establish a timeline for program review and to discuss the following: steps in the program review process, forms and templates or reporting platforms and protocol to be used, data needs, guidelines for conducting the SWOT analysis, MOU questions, critical issues, self-study format, action plan format, selection of external reviewers process, visit logistics, fundings, etc. If a graduate program or cluster of programs with a graduate program is being reviewed, the dean of the graduate college or a designee must also attend this initial meeting. And it is the Office of Institutional Effectiveness provost designee that facilitates this initial meeting. Step 2, requesting institutional data and conducting a SWOT analysis. The Office of Institutional Effectiveness provost designee and the program review coordinator meet again to discuss data needs to complete a strength, weakness, opportunities, threat analysis for the program or cluster of programs under review. Since results from the SWOT analysis inform the critical questions or issues to be articulated in the formal MOU for the self-study, data categories ought to reflect those to be including in the self-study. A non-exhaustive list of data categories is provided in the program review handbook. These include, for example, enrollment and demographics data, faculty scholarly and instructional productivity data, data relative to student learning, data relative to resources and facilities, and evidence relative to curricular quality, etc. Step 3, developing a memorandum of understanding. The Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, serves as a mechanism for the program faculty, program review coordinator, college deans or associate deans, and the OIE provost designee and the provost to outline the primary focus or foci for the program review. The MOU is never to be developed as a standalone, contextually self-serving document, but should always be aligned to the strategic plan of the respective college, department, or school, and the university at large. In this sense, the MOU serves to support that the program under review contributes to BGSU's mission, vision, and strategic plan. Examples of potential issues or questions in alignment with BGSU strategic plans and initiatives are provided on the slide. A MOU template is provided also in the program review handbook. Step 4, program self-study and action plan submission and internal review and approval. The program faculty, under the direction of the program review coordinator, is responsible for preparing the self-study and action plan. The self-study process is an opportunity indeed to engage faculty, staff, administrators, and students in the self-assessment and improvement of the program or cluster of programs. The self-study, not including attachments and action plan, should not exceed 50 pages. Supporting evidence for claims made in the self-study may be attached and or uploaded separately, provided they are clearly referenced in the narrative and a consistent nomenclature is followed. A sample outline for the self-study is provided in the program review handbook. Data should be used to inform and support claims in the self-study. Data from the Office of Institutional Research, OIR, are the primary source of data. Additionally, however, OIE may also supplement data from the Academic Performance Solutions, or APS. The Office of Academic Assessment, OAA, may also provide data relative to Bowling Green prospective outcomes, student achievement outcomes, graduate surveys, employer surveys, co-curricular outcomes, etc. The self-study process should result in the development of a measurable, feasible, actionable action plan for continuous improvement of the program or cluster of programs within a specified time frame. This action plan must be approved by the dean or associate dean designee. The program review coordinator then submits the program self-study and action plan to the college dean and associate deans, as well as to the OIE provost designee for feedback and review. The college dean and associate deans and the OIE provost designee review the self-study and action plan and provide feedback specifically on goals, on priorities, and the feasibility of the action plan within the context of the college and university. Prior to the review of the self-study and its evidence by external reviewers, a first layer of internal review occurs. The internal review is completed by the OIE provost designee who works collaboratively with PRAC members who serve as second readers. The OIE provost designee issues a self-study approval status letter, or SSASL, with recommendations for improvement of the self-study. The OIE program designee, in consultation with PRAC members, may also necessitate multiple reviews of the self-study to confirm fine-tuning. In this reiterative process, multiple SSASLs may be issued. OIE approves the final version of the self-study and accompanying evidence to be shared with external reviewers and explains the next steps. Step 5. Selection of external reviewers and visit logistics. 3 months in advance of the external review visit, the program review coordinator will work with program faculty to identify and submit the names and credentials of 4 to 6 recognized peers from similar programs at other universities. Working from the slate of potential reviewers, the OIE provost designee will communicate agreement on a list of at least 3 potential reviewers, 2 required, and an additional 1 should in extremis replacements become necessary. Budget allocations from the provost's office will cover only 2 external reviewers. Once 2 external reviewers have been confirmed by the provost office, a no conflict of interest form, a current CV or resume, and an independent contractor agreement, ICA, must be executed and archived within the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. Review visits can be conducted on-site or virtually. For programs that use laboratories, the visits need to be on-site only. The program review coordinator is responsible for scheduling and coordinating all aspects of the external reviews site, either virtual or on campus, including meetings with the college deans or associate deans, the graduate college dean as applicable. The OIE provost designee must always be included on the exit session of the visit. A copy of the finalized visit schedule is due to the provost designee in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness 6 weeks prior to the visit, and at least 1 month prior to the review visit. The program review coordinator should provide the following materials to each of the external reviewers. 1, the program self-study and action plan and all accompanying evidence, a copy of Bowling Green State University's mission, vision, and strategic plan, a copy of the finalized visit schedule for the visit, If the visit is virtual, all Zoom or virtual links should be included with special attention to time zone. Copy of sample questions for use by external reviewers during the visit, a copy of which is featured on the OIE's website, a copy of the executive summary template, a copy of the program's fully executed MOU. On this next slide, a sample visit schedule is featured. Step 6, reception of external reviewers' finding reports and executive summary. The external reviewer's final consolidated report of findings, along with the executive summary, are due 3 weeks after their visit, whether on campus or virtual, and should be sent directly to the OIE provost designee, who will then forward these documents to the program review coordinator and college dean and associate deans. These documents are kept on file in the provost's office and in the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. There are no page limits to the external reviewer's final report of findings. However, the executive summary template is not to exceed 5 pages. A template of the executive summary is provided in the program review handbook. Step 7, response to external reviewers' findings and revision of the action plan. Following receipt of the external reviewer's final report of findings and the executive summary, the program review coordinator shall meet with faculty and the college dean and associate dean to discuss the review outcomes. Within 2 weeks of the conclusion of the meeting, the program review coordinator shall complete the response to external findings template, which is to be found in the program review handbook as well. The response from the college dean, associate dean, commits the college to a course of action. The college dean and associate dean's response could endorse the program review and or program cluster report as it is written, could commit to only specified parts of the report, could adopt revisions suggested in the program response, or could add recommendations overlooked in both documents. The faculty response to the external reviewer's report that is agreed upon by the program review coordinator and the college dean and associate deans will be formally integrated into the finalized program action plan to be implemented the following semester. When revised, a final copy of the program's action plan shall be submitted to the college dean and associate deans and the OIE provost designee. Last but not least, step 8, implementation of action plan and yearly update or follow-up. The final action plan must be implemented by the program or program cluster the following semester. So if a visit occurs in spring, fall of the same year would be the implementation start date. Ongoing program faculty conversations should occur on the implementation of the action plan. The program review coordinator shall provide annual follow-up progress reports endorsed by the college dean and associate deans in the platform and or reporting venue set up by the Office of Institutional Effectiveness. This concludes our presentation. If needs for clarification or questions exist, do not hesitate to contact us at institutionalf@bgsu.edu.